What is up, the Lions fans? It's your boy Motor City Don P. We are back here once again, and you all already know what time it is. And we've heard the news, which is no longer breaking, but we've got some other breaking news that just broke a few minutes ago, and I'm concerned. But before we get into that, I just want to let you know when you see me, front your TV. One thing's for certain and three things are for sure. Number one, the Motor City Cats are indeed back at it. Number two, we came to give you stats, not none of that static. And number three, perhaps the most important number of them all, number three. Want to make sure you keep your Lions news pragmatic. And you may be asking yourself, how, Don? How, Mr. P, does one keep the Lions news pragmatic? Well, it's very simple. I'm glad you asked, and I will tell you. I won't keep the information from you. Smash like button, subscribe, share the stream with your peoples. You got to share it with your peoples. And once you've done that, then you have indeed kept your Lions news pragmatic. And once you've shared this stream with your mothers, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your cousins, your uncles, your sisters, your brothers, your fathers, your sisters, your brothers, you name it, you have indeed cared about these people. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Johnny Morton has been fired. Johnny Morton was awful. I told y'all during the live stream when they showed a picture of Johnny Morton, I was like, look at him in the booth like he still got a job. Look at him in the booth like he still got a job. And then I got to thinking, once I heard that he was fired, listen, and here's the thing. This is a disclaimer. What up, though, everybody in the chat? And I'll get to y'all in a second. This is a disclaimer. When we talk about coaches getting fired, when we're like, oh, you know, the NFL coaching carousel and, hey, you need to be fired, this, that, and the other thing. These people are going to land on their feet. The NFL is a league of nepotism. The NFL is a league of exclusivity. The NFL is a league where they pull from a small pool of people that work their way up the ranks. They get they establish relationships with people, they network, and then they get hired. And then you're like, why did this guy get hired? What was that guy's name that got a freaking head coaching job because he was Aaron Rodgers' friend? I can't remember his name. He was the coach of the Broncos, and he only lasted a year because he's terrible. He was an offensive coordinator for Aaron Rodgers, and everyone knew that Aaron Rodgers was calling the plays, and then he got there and he was just cheeks. All that type of stuff is going to happen. So when we say, oh, this guy needs to be fired, it's not us just being cavalier about people's lives and things like this. No, you might have to move to a different house. You might have to move to a different city or a different state or what have you, but you're still going to have a job. It's not like Johnny Morton is going from the NFL to the unemployment line. The only way you do that is to be involved in some sort of scandal and have done something crazy, and then you will be relieved of your duties and you will not be a coach again. Okay? So that's the thing that we have to get out. And there have been some other things that have happened. John Harbaugh has been released, let go, fired. It's parted ways with the Ravens, whatever you want to call it. But after 18 years, that has happened. Cliff Kingsbury. This was a mutual parting of the ways, and now Cliff Kingsbury is being mentioned as one of the front runners for the Ravens job. I don't know why you would do that as the Baltimore Ravens. The knock on Cliff Kingsbury was that about the middle of the season, you had figured it all out with Cliff Kingsbury. I think he was better suited to be a coordinator than he was to be a head coach. He doesn't have a good record as a head coach anywhere. Young offensive mind, understands the modern day NFL, all these other things. Had a pretty good running attack when he was with the Arizona Cardinals. But now, if you're going to be the Baltimore Ravens and you're going to hire him, cool. Todd Monken is available. We've been talking about this run game. The run game was bad this year. Todd Monken, hello. Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Keaton Mitchell, all types of other running backs. Okay. Todd Monken's a name that I would like to consider. And then you've got your Brian Dayballs and, all these other things. Kevin Stefanski is not coming here. We don't really want Kevin Stefanski and so on and so forth. And then just before we came on air, and guys, I'm thinking about this off season starting the show an hour later. So instead of 7:15 p.m., we'll talk about 8:15 p.m. If you guys are open to that, let me know. I know before when I started, we had some older gentlemen and they complained about not being able to make it because it was too late and all this stuff. But it's more comfortable for me actually to come in at 8:15 and I also can do Thursdays if we come in at 8:15. So just let me know if you'd like to see me here at 8:15 instead of or 8:15, probably 8, right? Um, yeah, probably 8. Let's say 8. What do y'all think? Is 8 good? Because I know sometimes like people come in late and all that stuff, and then they'll be debating with me about stuff I said an hour ago, and we're ending an hour. So I think 8 is a good time slot. Um oh, Nathaniel Hackett. There you go. Nathaniel Hackett. All right. So let me know, guys, in the chat what y'all think about 8 o'clock. All right. Now, here's the other thing. 8 is good, gives me time to get in and out of the gym. Facts. All right. Since tactical is my day one, man, we're gonna go 8. We're gonna get 8 o'clock. And anybody that doesn't like it, y'all can talk to tactical. All right. So we're talking about that cronyism. We're talking about the nepotism. And I said to you guys, and I've been talking about this. The Detroit Lions are one of the worst organizations under Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes when it comes to cronyism, nepotism, all this other stuff. It's like they're afraid of the outside world. Ooh, stranger danger. Guess what, guys? Ian Rappaport reported probably about 20, 30 minutes ago that the Detroit Lions are starting their offensive coordinator search with a name that no one expected, with a name that no one thought would even, like, no one considered. This guy's a quarterback coach. He's a former quarterback. He's a former quarterback of the Detroit Lions, for God's sakes, David freaking Blau. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I don't know if y'all know this, but let's just go down the list. Anthony Lynn didn't fit. Square peg, round hole. Did not fit. Got fired. Him and Dan Campbell were good friends. Dan Campbell will fire his friends, credit to him, but he also will hire them. Ben Johnson, Osama Ben Johnson. Now, before that, he was Ben Johnson. Right? Dan Campbell met Ben Johnson in Miami. They were on the staff together. And when Miami fired, well, they didn't fire Dan Campbell. He was just the interim head coach, right? So when they hired Brian Flores to be their head coach, Brian Flores brought in his own staff. And he did not retain Ben Johnson, a young Ben Johnson. So a young Ben Johnson leaves there and comes over to Detroit with Matt Patricia. And Matt Patricia flamed out because he was trash as a human being, as a head coach. And he comes over, does Dan Campbell, to the Detroit Lions. And he goes, My guy, I know you. Yeah, you can sell my staff for sure. Then he promotes a young Ben Johnson, and everything takes off from there. And then he repays Dan Campbell's loyalty by becoming Osama Ben Johnson, a terrorist, and going over to the Chicago Bears, and is currently getting ready for a playoff game, wild card weekend. Then after that, we bring in Johnny Morton. Why? Because Johnny Morton used to be here before. He's familiar with Jared Goff. He's got a working relationship. He knows Jared. Seen J-Mo before and creamed in his mouth a little bit. Creamed in his pants. J-Mo, oh my God. Oh, J-Mo. Deep threat. Oh, 75 yards down the field or nothing. This is Johnny Morton. So this guy gets fired because he's trash. You brought in Kelvin Shepard. I'm sorry, you didn't bring him in. You just promoted him from within. Didn't do great. Got worse as the season went on. Didn't adjust well, didn't deal well with the injuries. None of this was Kelvin Shepard's forte. Now we'd like him fired. Raheem Morris is available. He's available. He's not going to get another head coaching job. He's available. Brian Flores has made it known he's available. Open up the pocketbook, man. I'm a mercenary right now. I'm a machine. I need that cash. Show it to me. Show me the quan. Show me the money. This is what Brian Flores said. Not in so many words, but he stood at the podium and he said, it has to be the right situation for me to leave Minnesota. And I'd be very, very shocked. Not that Brian Flores isn't capable of being a head coach, but because he sued the league. He's got a lawsuit. I'd be very shocked if they allow a man who is suing them or has sued them to become a head coach in the face of one of the franchises that he's suing. Because, if you sue the Shield, you sue all 32 teams. And they said that's fine if you want to be a coordinator, but you being the front man and also suing your organization is crazy. Now, I'm not telling you that they're going to hire David Blau. That would be very presumptuous of me to believe that they're hiring David Blau. But here's the thing. David Blau used to be in Detroit. He was a quarterback for Detroit. He played snaps. He backed up Matthew Stafford. And I think maybe he backed up Jared Goff for 1 year. I think the first year he was still here. Him and terrible Tim, the real TB12. You know what I mean? I always forget that dude's name now. It's weird. I can't remember his name for nothing. And you guys will tell me in the chat. At some point, guys, you gotta go outside the organization, man. You gotta go outside of who you know. I mean, and it doesn't just go with coaches, it's players too. Marcus Davenport is here because, well, me and AG knew him in freaking New Orleans. That's the reason Alex Anzalone is here. Now, Alex Anzalone was actually a good player, so you don't really care about that. But the busts and the bums. Bust, Hendon Hooker. Why? Brad Holmes knows the father in the family. Known him for years. If the Detroit Lions, I'm going to tell you this. If the Detroit Lions hire David Blau, I'll give him a chance. because David Blau could be the next Kellen Moore. David Blau played in the league as a backup quarterback, and they may think that they're identifying their next Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was in Detroit for a little bit, wasn't he? Anyway, but this is crazy. A sugar cookie, man. This is crazy. This is freaking crazy, bro. We start off our search with David Blau, not by trying to secure interviews with Cliff Kingsbury. You say, hey, I know you trying to get this head coaching job with the Ravens, but if it don't work out, which it probably won't, you can come holler at us. David Blau, young guy, right? Been retired for a couple of years, didn't have a long career at all because he was cheeks, right? They say what? Those who can't do, teach. Those who can do, those who can't do, teach. He could, for a little bit, do as a backup quarterback, wasn't very good at it, but probably understands the importance of the run game as a former quarterback in the NFL. The run game is your friend, the offensive line is your friend, all the protection and all this other stuff, understands the plight of the quarterback, knows what it feels like to get sacked. This is the kind of guy that you want, maybe. Am I tripping? Y'all let me know in the comments below. I'm gonna get to your comments right now. All right, I got a lot of them. All right, here we go. Man was hoping for a higher bar in the experience level. Yeah. Amazon's await you more and more. I don't think you'll be going to Amazon. What up, though? Tactical Sport. It did not take long at all. Supposed to be at the gym. However, there's the New Year Me crowd. Oh, yes. New Year, New Me. Right. I got you. I need to rejoin that crowd. Things will get worked out. Things have to get worked out. Had some hiccups in the personal life, but things will work themselves out. Rumor is David Blau. Yes, David Blau. Yes, the dude who just starting his coaching career in 2024 is the first interview for OC. Are you trying to piss me off, Dan? That was the sentiment, right? See, I'm not the only one. Don, hey, some good news today. Yes. Now MCDC go get Dayball. Well, looks like they're going to get David, not Dayball. Morton will probably end up back in Denver. He probably will. Nathaniel Hackett is the guy. LML Hackett, keep my friend's name out your mouth. What up, though, Will Murray? Sorry, my coach's name out your mouth. Yeah, 8 is good. That one, that no one expected for good reason. Facts. Oh, hell no, says Will Murray. He is not a fan. No. He down there with Destiny's Child anyway. You know what I mean? Hey, it's a nepotism. If it's nepotism, Dayball. They work together in Miami. Well, there you go. I mean, and then that's much further. But I just need you to stop with the stranger danger. I just need you to stop. I just need you to trust me. That's all. Stop being afraid of everybody and everything. Y'all know them if questions. If your mom tells you not to talk to strangers, then how are you supposed to make friends? Do you know everybody? Right? That's just the perfect, sentiment for this team. My goodness. John Harbaugh as OC. John Harbaugh is a special teams guy. I mean, he's dabbled in everything, but I don't think you are coming off of 18 years as the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, winning Super Bowls, and was it multiple Super Bowls or just the one? It might have just been one. I think he just got one. And then you come at 63 years old to be an offensive coordinator of the Detroit Lions. I don't know about all that. Appreciate you, Mr. Detroit City. Bro, if we hire David Blah, I'm crashing out. Harbaugh will get another head coaching job. There are 7 teams that called his agent within 30 minutes of getting fired. Yeah. He doesn't need the OC thing. If Scotty Montgomery is Dan's number one guy for the past few years in his back pocket, why doesn't he let him take over OC if Dan has trust issues with new guys? I don't want to see Scotty Montgomery take over. I don't want to see David Blau take over. I don't want to see a first time play caller unless you come from a place where you draw up plays for someone like a Sean McVay, a Kyle Shanahan, and Andy Reid. Like if you've worked with an offensive genius, if you've sat behind an offensive mastermind, look at whatchamacallit. Mike McDaniel, nobody even knew who he was and got a head coaching job simply because he was the offensive coordinator for Kyle Shanahan. And while his offense was only the problem because his quarterback was cheeks, the concepts were not the problem. The running game and the design of the running game was not the problem. The quarterback he was saddled with was the problem. The quarterback that he had to kiss up to until he finally benched his ass because he was clearly cheeks was the problem. Remember, some people wanted Tua over Jared Goff. I'm not over Jared Goff. Tua over Herbert. Remember that when that happened? And I wanted Herbert to replace Matthew Stafford. What? Imagine. But again, I call Herbert Matthew Stafford in Detroit. So would he essentially have just been the same that he is now? No playoff wins. Did they win the division this year? Who won that division? It had to be. Because it's only the Colts, not the Colts. It's only the Bolts, the Chiefs. No, Denver won it. Denver won the division. So no division titles, no playoff wins. Look at mighty Staffordy. But yeah, if you're new, I mean, your teacher had to be a guru. Dan Campbell is not a guru of offense. This is why we're looking for an offensive coordinator. If he was a guru, there wouldn't be the need because he'd be the one calling the plays on a guru level. He called the plays, but it was meh. You know what I mean? He wasn't terrible. He wasn't overly great. I mean, he was better than Johnny Morton for sure. That's not hard. Right? I'm better than Johnny Morton, but I'm not underselling myself. Give me a few years to be, to sit around the NFL. I think I'd be all right. All right. Because I'm an offensive guy anyway. Lions showing you they don't care about Super Bowls. You want to hire another inexperienced dude over all the other experienced OCs out there. That's facts, man. Tim Boyle. There we go. Tim Boyle. I can remember Tim Biakapatuka, but I can't remember Tim Boyle. That's crazy. It's the Boyle. It's like Susan Boyle. I wonder if the Lions should promote Jim O'Neill for the DC role. I don't know, bro. Like, again, all of these people that have little bit of experience or are inexperienced, like, if you're not bringing in a Raheem Morris or a Brian Flores, you might as well keep shut, bro. because there's nobody else that's out there unless you're poaching someone to do a lateral move. But you can't really poach anyone in the NFL for lateral moves because the team that they're on can block it. So if you wanted to poach Steve Spagnuolo, which is something that I heard the other day, somebody in the chat said that the Chiefs would be like, no, you can't talk to him. Also, Mike Disner, I think is it the Falcons? Somebody wants to interview Mike Disner. Mike Disner is our capologist. That's gonna be bad. If he leaves for the VP of football or some that's not that's not good. I mean, you can find someone that understands the cap, and you can be like, well, look, this is how we're doing our contracts. They've got a bunch of contracts that they can lay out, right? I don't think it'll be that hard, but it's been kind of like set it and forget it with these contracts. So I don't know. It might be something to keep an eye out for. What up, though, Jody Carruthers? Yes, Denver won the AFC West. Damn, the Lions getting to work already. K Press, what up? Where you been at? We don't have time to waste. So yes, they're getting to work. I don't want Scotty to call plays. I'm just saying if Dad's scared to meet new people, I'm Team Gruden all day, every day on offense. My problem with Gruden is that he endorsed Johnny Mo. I mean, he came to our training camp and he gaslit us and told us that this man was better than him. So if he thinks that highly of Johnny Mo, I'm not touching John Gruden. I'm sorry. Nah, I mean, nah. But nah. Nah, I'm good. Nah. Have a new job? All right, cool. That's good. Congratulations on your new job. Don, to be fair, Gruden says he loves everybody when he's on camera. That's true. He do be lying. But he came to the camp as a friend of Johnny Mo's, bro. I don't know. That just I mean, clearly John Gruden has progressed in his career much farther than Johnny Mo. So that's just the one thing. But bruh, about all that, bro. I wouldn't be opposed. I guess. I guess. But I mean, can he work for somebody? He's got that personality, he's got that alter ego. Can he work for somebody at this point in time? And I'm pretty sure he wants to do whatever he can because he still wants to coach. He's tethered himself to the NFL to continue to make money by having his YouTube channel where he breaks down NFL games and NFL film and concepts and all these things. He's still got the grease board. I mean, he'd be breaking down plays and all that stuff. So, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst hire, but can he fit in the locker room? Can he take a step back and because he is an alpha male, but he's not going to be the alpha. You understand what I'm saying? But I guess I can't say if Brian Flores can do it, then you know what I mean. They're different people. But if that's the only way that he can get back in the NFL, I'm sure he'll do whatever. So I guess I'll change it 50-50. I'm 50-50 on Gruden. I can be swayed. I can be bought. Not with baby oil, but I can be bought. Every QB cap, he's like, oh man, this guy's got the juice, LOL. That's true. He be lying to y'all. Kind of quiet today. No background noise today. Some tried to start when I got on, but it went away. And now I want some hot cheese. Not a fan of Gruden. His offense is old. His offense is old, but I think he's had enough time away where he's and that's why I said the thing that benefits him is his in his time away, he's breaking down NFL offenses. He's breaking down running games. Why is this good? Like last year, when he was talking about the Lions and picking them before every game, he's always talking about the run game. Oh, this guy, these two guys, Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery, and this, and the pulls and the whams and the boom. And he's breaking down everything. So I think the benefit that he has had is he's got a 30,000-foot view and he's able to look at the NFL, the current landscape, how offenses are being called, what it is, this, that, and the third thing. And then I think that was an Amazon delivery. Anyway, and then he's got um Dan Campbell wants to run the football. So instead of just running the ball into the middle of the line of scrimmage, John Gruden is going to understand different ways to manipulate the run game, different combinations of blocks, protections. He's going to have a more advanced scheme. So that's why I said I can be swayed on John Gruden. I tell you what, if it was between John Gruden and Chris and Cliff Kingsbury, there'd be an argument, there'd be a discussion. It's not just head, shoulders, and all that stuff over the other person. So Gruden is like one of those guys where you can't tell if he's a genius or just crazy. I think it's a bit of both. I think Gruden is the kind of guy like, let's go get these sons of peace this year when it all shows them we're the best and I'll go on my way after to be a head coach again. Like I said, he wants to get back in the NFL. He's suing them for like wrongful termination. It's different, but again, Brian Flores sued them for collusion, and he got a job as a coordinator. So I believe that Gruden can get a job as a coordinator. Just like I believe it would be an uphill battle for Brian Flores to get a head coaching job. I think it would be an uphill battle for John Gruden to get a head coaching job, but John Gruden is not even in the NFL currently, so he'd have to come in as an OC, and follow the path of Brian Flores, because he's gonna have interviews, he's gonna have head coaching interviews. Like I said, the Raiders are talking about it or whatever, or he's been linked to the Raiders. So we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be super duper shocked because it's Tom Brady. And Tom Brady might be like, F that ish, basically. I don't care, but we'll see. Gruden and MCDC, too much testosterone and alpha male in one locker room. Yeah, you'd be able to smell it as you walk by. You'd be like, God damn. What is that coming from the locker room? Tampa would see us win it all with Gruden as OC and rehire him to run the Bucks when they let Todd Bowles go next year. The fact that Todd Bowles is still there is crazy to me. It's not the injuries, bro. I'm sorry. It's crazy. It's an every year thing, bro. Tampa Bay's a 9-win team that wins the division every year at 9-8. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. This Disner thing sounds like Matt Ryan is gonna get that job. Oh yeah. So that's crazy. Yeah. I was talking about that yesterday. The Matt Ryan situation. Why? Why? Why is he going to be your VP of football? What is his qualification? Because he was a quarterback? But hey, they did it with Tom Brady, but Tom Brady had to pay. He's part owner, so he could do what he want because he partly owns the team. Spider two wide banana, yes sir. What about Megatron for OC? I mean, you want to get everybody. What about Barry for OC? You know what I mean? You want to get everybody. You know, so he's could you imagine? Could you imagine? My man, like, hold on, right quick. You got the 2 for 5. Yeah, yeah. All right, all right. Blue 42. Oh, my man doing weed deals on the sidelines. I holler at you after the game, boy. Yeah, we gonna smoke up. This just said Lions scheduled to interview Uncle Rico after David Blau. I don't deny it. I wouldn't be surprised. Peace in Daniels. Who's Daniels? You mean Jaden Daniels? Every time I see Todd Bowles, it looked like he's sundowning. Herman Morris smarter football IQ than Calvin. I don't think Herman wants to be a coach. John Elway was a good VP for a while. Just saying it can work. It can. But John, I think, benefited. I mean, obviously, free agents and all that other stuff. Because Peyton Manning didn't do a damn thing. They dragged that man and his corpse to a Super Bowl. If we're talking engineering, then Calvin, Cooks, Herman, but football, yeah, I'll take 84. We know you don't like Calvin for some reason. I don't know what the problem is for you to hate Megatron and Barry. I don't get it. I don't get how you're a Lions fan. You have a personal problem with Barry as a person, but his talent is undeniable. The greatest running back ever of all time. All time. I want the players to call their own plays next year. Yeah, okay. That'll work out very well. If it was Peyton or Brady at QB, they wouldn't need an OC. Yeah, but those guys are in their 40s. Well, Brady's out damn near 50. They're both damn near 50, right? Blue Dream 42 on 2. Purple, strawberry banana kush. Strawberry banana kush. McDaniels for OC. McDaniels is still the coach of the Dolphins, unless he's been fired very recently. It's not that I'm against Calvin. I just think Herman is the best Lions wide receiver ever. Okay. Awesome guy. I'm guessing you've met him. I did a show with him back in the day. Age ain't nothing but a number. When you're a football player, it's a lot more than a number. You know the best players the Lions have ever had? Yeah, I hate those guys. Of course you do. Of course you do. For those of you that are just coming in, so we announced earlier that I will be moving to a later time this off season. It will be 8 p.m. And that will also give me the opportunity, I think, to do Thursdays. I'm definitely trying to do this Thursday because you know who is going to be at the podium this Thursday. Rockin' Robin. Down the street, Rockin' Robin. The kind I like to meet. Okay, anyway. This Pretty Woman is not Rockin' Robin. Anyway, Rockin' Robin Brad Holmes. I don't know why I'm calling him Rockin' Robin. I might as well call him Casey Kasem. If you know, you know. Use the hashtag. But yeah, Brad Holmes gonna address the media. on Thursday. So we want to go ahead and break down the things that he said, and I don't want to wait till Friday. So, like I said, I will try to presto, changeo, and shift um, the the situation. I'm probably also gonna change my haircut days to Sundays because I just it'd be too much money that I'd be having to give up sometimes to get my haircut. Um, so yeah. But anyway, let's move on. Um, I can't get over David Blau though. We got to get over it. Hopefully, it's not gonna happen. It's not that David's bad, it's that he's never called plays before. He's inexperienced. We just ran into the same problem with Kelvin Shepard. He's never called plays before. He's inexperienced. He's got all these spotters and he's got all these people that are gonna help him and get him out of jams and all these other things. But none of these spotters and him and these coaches that have been with him forever could make a damn in-game adjustment. The adjustments were getting made 2 games later, right? This stuff couldn't get figured out, and that was the problem. So now you're telling me you want to bring in another guy like that again. If you studied behind a genius, if you sat behind a genius and you learned from a genius and you sat in meetings with a genius, then okay. But so David Blau was with Cliff Kingsbury for 2 years. Again, Cliff Kingsbury had a pretty good running game when he was in Arizona, but guess what? He also had he had another position that was running, and that was a quarterback named Kyler Murray who ran a lot. So he had a mobile quarterback, and he had running backs who were able to run the football. So I don't know. Just I don't. After what we went through this year, Johnny Moe had previous experience in like 2006. Josh McCown was his quarterback. Bilal Powell was his running back. Robbie Chosen Anderson was his wide receiver. He was with the Jets. It was ages ago. And then he came in here and he fumbled and tripped all over himself. He talked about JMO this and JMO that. He talking about JMO this and JMO that, talking about Amon Ra this and Amon Ra that, talking about Sam Laporta and Sam Laporta that, talking about he was gonna put the running game back, but it just looked like the running game was on crack. He looked like he was calling plays for that. He was in the booth looking like he was on smack. Yeah, maybe he was looking in the booth sipping on that Jack. You already know what it is. I'll be here all week. Bookings, nah. Johnny Morton was terrible. Okay. Johnny Morton was not only terrible, but he was a retread of the Detroit Lions. Oh, I've been in the building before. We don't need any of that. You know what I mean? David Blau may be excellent. And then he may be excellent and he may go somewhere and be like a whiz kid and we'd be like, damn, look at that. We should have hired him. But you know what I've never heard about David Blau? No one has ever heard Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, Brad Holmes. No one has ever said that David Blau is the best kept secret in the NFL. No one has ever heard anyone say that David Blau is the next Kellen Moore. No one has heard anything about David Blau being this wonder kid, this protege, this prodigy. Protege is the wrong word, but this prodigy. And if we're not saying that about him, And again, we've got some guys that we've been, um, that have been tucked under the wing of Kyle Shanahan. To be honest with you, when Mike McDaniels came out, I was like, who? Who is that? Oh, he was the offensive coordinator for Kyle Shanahan. Did he call plays? No, hell no. That's Kyle Shanahan's job. But Kyle Shanahan has a very successful tree when it comes to offensive play callers. Mike McDaniel was over there toiling in mediocrity and became a head coach because he was with he was with Kyle Shanahan. Again, Mike McDaniel's offense wasn't the problem. The person he had running the offense was the problem. Miami was very look. Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane. They got some kid now. I mean, Mostert is in Las Vegas, but they got some kid now, some rookie dude. He's good with the two back sets. He's good with being able to use a platoon of running backs. This is what they do in San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey's out. Okay. In comes Emmanuel Wilson. Emmanuel Wilson goes to the freaking 40 the Packers. Okay. In comes Jordan Mason. All right. Jordan Mason goes to the Vikings. In comes somebody else. Right? Christian McCaffrey goes out. Okay, no problem. Jordan Mason comes in and gives you 100 yards on the ground. It's a machine of running the football. So if you told me, okay, we're getting this first time play caller, where did he come from? San Francisco. I'm excited. We got a first time play caller. Where did he come from? Los Angeles, the Rams. Oh, I'm excited. We got a first time play caller. Where did he come from? The Chiefs. It's like Andy Reid is over there keeping that sauce, and most of the sauce is because it's Patrick Mahomes. That's not like a fundamental situation. That's like you got to have the cheat code. There's an ABABABABB start. You know what I mean? Hashtag if you know, you know. The OGs know. The real ones know. But if you tell me that someone was the protege of a Kyle Shanahan or even an Andy Reid or a Sean McVay, I'm like, okay, yeah, right. The only problem is those people could be Brad Holmeses, right? Because Brad Holmes was the protege of Les Snead, and he does nothing like Les Snead. Les Snead went and won the damn Super Bowl, missed the playoffs the next year, and he's now back in Super Bowl contention again. He could win 2 Super Bowls in 5 years. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the only situation where someone gets away from Sean McVay and goes, I want to do things my way. Someone gets away from Kyle Shanahan and goes, I want to be a real boy. Someone gets away from Andy Reid and they go, I wish upon a star. Whatever it is, bro. It doesn't mean that they're going to be the same, but I believe more in someone that comes from there. I don't believe in David Blau, bro. He came from where? Cliff Kingsbury. That's where he came from. Is Melvin speaking Thursday? His, and we will be here Thursday, 8:00. Let's get it. Showbiz, we'll see you now, Mr. Chappelle. I'm a little bit nervous. Oh, don't worry, that's normal. Everyone's nervous about meeting Showbiz, except for P Diddy. Going in sexy, right? Hashtag if you know, you know, use the hashtag. Bradley Matthias, Leonardo Holmes, Jerome Cornelius, Matheson, Bartholomew, Rasputin, Napoleon Holmes. Um, Brad Holmes' new name is B Diddy. Where's the paperwork? We need a live for Melvin's press conference. We're gonna go live. I don't know what time his press conference will be, but we're gonna go live. We'll be here. Don't worry. I will not let you guys down. I will be here. Did you see the clip of Dan addressing the locker room, including leadership? Melvin was all by himself to the right, while Sheila and everyone else was front and center together. Yeah, I saw that. He was in the back like, I don't know. Sixth round. I don't know. Speaking of sixth round, y'all was around here. Where was your antennas when you was giving this man Ahmed Hassani nicknames, calling him the Egyptian magician? He was a magician because my man did a disappearing act. Where was he at? The entire season, where was he at? Anybody seen the magician? The Egyptian magician? I didn't. Nah, dog, we don't know that dude. Melvin looked like the odd man out. If there's an odd man out, it's got to be the guy that didn't stock the shelves. John Morton called plays before, and he was ass. Yeah, he called plays before, but he didn't know what he was doing. Like, it just, how do you have Jameson Williams? Let this sink in. Jameson Williams has something like 1,117 yards and wasn't getting the ball for the first 9 weeks of the season. 9 weeks of the season. Like, explain that. Explain that. My man had 1,117 yards on 59 catches and was not getting the ball for the first 9 weeks of the season. Jameson Williams averaged 17.4 yards per catch. He remains among the lowest targeted receivers to eclipse 1,000 yards the last 2 seasons. And you couldn't figure it out unless he was 75 yards down the field. And then you couldn't throw it to him. Because not too many, this is not a knock on golf, not too many quarterbacks in the league are throwing the ball 75 yards down the field. Matthew Stafford used to be able to. Joe Burrow, Lamar, Josh Allen, maybe someone like Trevor Lawrence, maybe. I don't know but what his arm strength is. But it's, it's not every quarterback, right? And the fact that you didn't have a quarterback that could throw it 75 yards down the field, it further baffles me as to why you thought that you had to get it to him 75 yards down the field. Dan Campbell said we can get you on a crossing route and you can go from 2 yards to 57 real quick. That's why he averaged 17.4 yards per catch. Bring in Rex Ryan as a senior defensive advisor like John Fox was a few years back. Rex Ryan's son still coaches for us. Did John Fox help? God forbid David gets in there and gets funky with it and calls a jet sweep with J-Mo. Again, listen. My opposition to David Blau is because he's been here before. And I've been saying that the exclusivity of this team and organization is hurting us more than it is helping us. Again, the cap space, I don't care nothing about that. I've been telling y'all the cap's not real, and people still keep thinking that it is. And then you go and you investigate Kirby Joseph's contract, and then you realize he has how much base salary? Not much. But it looks like he's getting paid $21.5 million a year. No, he's not. How's his cap hit $2 million? It's different. The numbers aren't the numbers. The math doesn't math on NFL contracts the way you think that it does. So I don't care about all of that. But you got to get away from this. Oh, my guys, our guys. Why did Broderick Morton get 3 years and never stepped on the field? Barely stepped on the field. Why did Levi Onwuzurike get another contract for last year with a hurt knee before they made sure that it was not something serious? He got paid $5 million to miss the entire season. After he signed the contract, he goes and gets another MRI. Oh, my ACL torn. Where they do that at? What kind of business is that? Marcus Davenport, not your guy, but he was your guy because he was a guy that you had on your team in New Orleans. And Dan Campbell and AG said, this guy. That's my problem with David Blau. He may be phenomenal. He may be the next Sean McVay. Who knows? I don't. Everyone thought Tanner Engstrom was going to be that dude, right? And then he goes to New York and absolute poop on offense. Now, I understand he didn't have a quarterback. I understand that. But it was terrible. He had a mobile quarterback who he couldn't do nothing with. Everybody likes a mobile quarterback. I've had people come in here and tell me that they'd rather have Justin Fields than Jared Goff. That guy doesn't come around here except for game days when we're losing. Okay? And he comes in to tell us all why Jared Goff is the problem. Even like Jared Goff could have been sitting on the sidelines the entire game. Like, see, Jared Goff ass. He didn't do anything. That's the problem. He's always injured. No, he's not. He will find anything. But my man had a mobile quarterback in New York and could do absolutely nothing. That was Tanner Engstrom. AG tabbed this man to be his offensive coordinator when he left because they're all doing that nepotism thing. Because he sat up under Osama bin Johnson. Apparently, Osama bin Johnson didn't give him enough sauce. Because you should at least be able to draw up plays for a mobile quarterback to use his legs when he can't use his arm. My man around here having 10 yards of passing and a half. Religiously. It wasn't just once or twice. That dude was garbage. Come on now. So that's my, the possibility of that is all. Mailbag. Okay, yeah, we got to do that. Mailbag. What you want to do? What you going to do when they reading you? Snickers, mailbag. Get your mailbag questions in. Get them in. Bask in it. All right, mailbag. If it is David Blau, does that tell you MCDC is calling plays? That's what it sounds like to me. I don't know what the point of that is. I don't. Are you calling play? The only thing that I could see is if he wants to make him the offensive coordinator, but he calls plays and he allows him in the game plan and all this other stuff just so he can understand how plays, he wants plays to be called, so on and so forth. But why would you, other than for that reason, why would you bring in a guy to be your offensive coordinator where you're going to call plays And you actually were thrust into that situation this past season. You brought in a guy who was your offensive coordinator, and you had to take the play calling sheet away from him because he was cheeks. We don't need that. We don't need Dan Campbell being focused on the offense. Dan Campbell is an executive type of coach. He can call plays. He can call them to a degree of success. But guess what he didn't do? I'd like to see Monty get more involved. I'd like to see, and then Monty doesn't get more involved. Not really. Maybe a couple percentage points. But you still have the problem of getting Monty involved. We need someone who can say, I have weapons. Now let me freaking go to war. Good analogy. I have weapons. Now let me go to war. What we had last season, the one that just ended with Johnny Morton. Ooh, boy, I got bazookas, I got AKs, I got freaking, look at the shotties. Look at the pistols. I got machine pistols. I got tasers. I got Glock 9. Oh, reliable. Glock 9, baby. But every time he talk about all the weapons he got. Well, Johnny, why you only firing the Glock 9? You got a damn turret. you got a turret back here, Nick. You got a tank. I almost said a word. You got a tank. What you doing? Oh, Glock 9. It's always reliable. We don't need that. Okay, we need someone who can go in and see that we got an entire war chest, and I'm gonna use everything in that chest. I'm gonna use all the weapons. I'm gonna use the melee weapons. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do all that, all of it. You know. Rex to help Shep, Gruden as OC. I like the smell of that. I don't know about that. That's not a recipe. That's a recipe for something bad. That's a recipe for too many chefs in the kitchen. Alpha male, alpha male, alpha male. Too many alpha males. Flavor Flav. Being out of the playoffs, maybe there will be a bigger pool of competent docs to hire from. You mean OCs? Johnny wasn't only terrible, but he sucked. Low key a villain trying to take us back to the 2009 Lions. David Blau is the best kept secret in the NFL. Okay, so because you said it, that means you the first one to say it. Type OCs. Again, it's hard for you to take an OC from another team to make him an OC because the teams can block them. And teams often block it. It's a lateral move. I'm not going to lose my OC to another team to be an OC. Now, if he becomes a head coach, okay, and then they can throw in the assistant head coach thing, right? So it's got to be an upward move, a promotion of sorts. It can't be a lateral one. Those aren't allowed. I mean, they're allowed, but it's very hard to pull one off unless a person just wants to go. Kyle Shanahan truly has a great mind for football. Facts, which is why I want someone from his tree. Pause. Okay. One of the few who knows how to use a fullback. That's true. And you know who else knows how to use a fullback? Todd Monken, Ravens. He should be available. I'm just saying. We won a running game. Ravens, hello. Anybody interested in a running game? Gus Edwards got paid because, he was with the Ravens. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. Maybe we can pick up Patrick Ricard for the low. He's a FA, actually from Baltimore. Now that I think about it, he's a damn good blocker. Yep. Machine, those third-round picks build depth. The third-round picks that he wasted, yes, that's the problem. He didn't build any depth with them. Up, down, left. Up, down, left, right, A, B, start. Correction. Is Brad Holmes a plan for the Rams to get Stafford and now he's just slowly tanking? Is he on the take? Hey, hey, that's an interesting take. I'm not gonna make no videos on it. You can. uh who was giving him nicknames? Oh, bro. Everybody's giving everybody nicknames. Freaking all the Tron nicknames for freaking Isaac Tesla, the other channels and other fans giving the Egyptian magician, all of this stuff, bro. That's why I said we love to compare. I mean, not with him, but that's what I'm saying. We love any receiver that's 6'4" or 6'5", he instantly gets compared to Calvin Johnson. Hasn't played a snap yet. Any receiver, like the fact that people are trying to tell me Jahmyr Gibbs reminds me of Barry Sanders means you never watched Barry Sanders play. Love Jahmyr Gibbs. Love him. Second favorite running back in Lions history. Love him. He's not Barry Sanders. Stop it. Get some help. Okay? This is the same thing what everybody was trying to do. Oh, somebody that can jump high and jump far and dunk. Oh, that's the next Michael Jordan. It's not. That's why they say comparison is the thief of joy. You got to tear somebody down when they start talking crazy. It's fine. Jahmyr Gibbs is great. And I said, and I still stand on this, the more Barry-esque running back is Bijan Robinson. I'm sorry. Barry-esque, the way he stops on a dime and that type of stuff that Barry would do and could do, and only him. I'm just saying, I studied Barry Sanders, okay, from a very young age. Studied him, all right? Went out on the football field, tried to be just like him. Matter of fact, when I was a freshman in high school, my coaches called me Little Barry. I didn't give myself this nickname. Just saying. Just saying. He became a follower not that long ago in his life. What does that have to do with his inability to play football? It doesn't have anything to do with it. What I'm saying is, yes, I know David Blau never called plays before, but it can't be worse than Johnny Morton. It can be worse than Johnny Morton, who has called plays and literally was asked. Johnny was given a plug and play offense. Right. And he wasn't good at calling offense. David Blau would be perfect. He's young, knows the offense, even helped with it. He played QB in it, and teams love him. Kellen Moore did. Why can't Blau? He's been learning with Commanders. Because everybody's not the same. And I said earlier, he might be the next David Blau, or he might be the next Tanner Enstrand. Both things are on the table. Him being really good is on the table, and him being terrible is on the table. It's generally a 50-50 proposition. When you have two outcomes, he's going to be great or he's going to be terrible. Or he's going to be meh, which is in the middle, which is not what we need. So if there are three outcomes and it's 33%, 33.3% across the board, only one of those 33.3% is actually good for us, and it's him having to be great. Because if he's meh, it's not going to help our offense out, really. Ben had no experience calling plays either. Usama was a genius. Usama was a genius. Again, as I said, I've never heard anybody say that he had this man has a genius mind. Osama bin Johnson was drawing up plays as a 10-year-old in his living room with his dad. Okay? It's been his lifelong dream and desire to be an offensive head coach in the NFL. I'm just saying. I don't know that about David Blau. And again, we just been burnt by a terrible hire. Now, here's the thing. If you believe in patterns, Anthony Lynn, terrible. Okay? Osama bin Johnson, awesome. Johnny Morton, terrible. David Blau, got to be awesome, right? Okay, I'm sold, guys. I'm sold. Hire him. Sign me up. I'm on the David hype train. David been here before, but not with this team. This is a different team, different regime, not anywhere near Matt Patricia's BS. Didn't he back up? He he backed up Goff the first year, right? Because it was him and Tim Boyle. And then I think after that they brought in Chase Daniel or something. But I think Blau was here at least a year with Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Justin Fields' his cheeks. Can't lie. he's had he's had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. What's that? 3 opportunities, 3 different teams, same results. He's a good kid, but it's not a good quarterback. That's what I'm saying. What will Brad do to get back into the third round, reaching for another project? I don't know, but I hope he gets back into the third round so that we can actually draft someone worthwhile. Because he can't. Yeah, look, yeah, the video that we were talking about earlier, go watch it. I think he knows he can't be doing this project BS no more. Give me a project pick, a hood rap pick, one that don't play no games, and one who sit the bench. Give me a project pick, a hood rap pick, one that don't play no games, and one who sit the bench. Broderick. Broderick, Hendon, Telia, and Kim. Or I should remix that. He may be a good kid, terrible QB. Facts. I'll say if Dan hires Blau, I'm out on Dan calling for his job. Can't believe we're even talking about that. Justin Fields had 1,259 yards passing this year. Do not want Justin Fields anywhere near this team. As a tush push merchant only. Just like I said, Jalen Monroe, tush push merchant. He would have helped this team on offense as a tush push merchant. I'll take Justin Fields over our backup any day. Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen fans, bring it. As a tush push merchant. I mean, we re-signed Malik Cunningham, so if he was available to be a backup quarterback, I wouldn't hate it. You know what I mean? Because he's a backup. But at least he could get in and maybe run the football. You know what I mean? Like if he needed to come in. He's not gonna throw the ball. He's not gonna throw you to victory. But I'd rather have him over Kyle Allen. 15 mil to resign Davenport. It was some dude. He don't come around here anymore. I know it sucks to talk about because it sucks the life out the sport nuts. What's the point on fixing the team if the oh come on, man. Like the refs screwed us when we were 15-2, right? Is that what happened? Did we get screwed at 15-2, or did something else happen? I'm just asking. I just want to know. MCDC took over play calling in year 1 and was good but not great. Same this year. Good, not great. Who else can we find an OC coming from the same tree? Yes, we don't want that. The best nickname was DDI. Test down is a great nickname. Gibbs don't need to stop on a dime. He already ahead of people. Ain't no dancing till he in the end zone after the TD. And that's his style of running. He just ain't Barry. I'm sorry. He doesn't remind me of Barry Sanders. Mailbag. Did you see the Gibbs St. Brown cake? No, I saw the St. Brown cake. But I'm sure it'll be all over the commercials next year. What changes do you expect on special teams? None. I don't. Phip will be there. Bates will be there. Fox will be there. The long snapper will be there. I mean, we'll get more bodies to cover kicks and punts, but I don't think there's any going to be any other changes. I seen the Gibbs St. Brown cake. I'd start from St. How you say the most Diddy thing ever and then say no Diddy? I don't know either. Uh, did no? I would say Matt LaFleur had two moms. Come on, we know he's beta all the way. You guys remember they watched his wife race? That was the Campbell era. Yes, his wife that looks exactly like her brother, and it's weird to look at him and see his sister. Ben took MCDC's scheme and ran with it, and he was there year one before given the opportunity. Maybe we need to look at colleges for an OC. If you've called plays in college, I need someone who understands situational football and understands how to not smash the ball into the middle of the offensive line over and over and over again when the offensive line isn't making holes. But hopefully we'll fix that this offseason. And the offensive line will be back to making holes. And then it'll make the running scheme look a whole lot better because we've got offensive linemen that can actually open holes for the running backs. Maybe. I hope that's what happens because that's what we need to happen. If that doesn't happen, it's going to be a long season. Not going to be able to run them all. No Tron nicknames for Tesla. There's no. Davenport did it. No, Diddy did it. Did he do it? Diddy did it. Shootouts, taking trips. Diddy did it, but my lawyer's so cold that Diddy gotta quit it. Chip Kelly enters the room. No, sir. No, sir. Not at all. Bro, he don't gotta remind you of Barry. He gotta remind you of him and what he capable of. Yeah, you're not getting. I said the people that are comparing him to Barry never saw Barry play. I said he's my second favorite running back in Lions history. I want people to stop comparing him to Barry because he's not. And I said that comparison is the thief of joy because you got to tear one down to make the other one look better. So I don't want my joy being stolen. So I want people to stop comparing Jahmyr Gibbs to Barry Sanders because I love both of the running backs. But Barry is the greatest ever. That's all. Just like we don't need to be calling Tesla Cybertron or anything Tron because he's not Megatron. Tesla is good. He's got great hands. Let him be him. That's my point. As Lions fans, we always want to compare people to Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson, and we should stop it. My only point. Reggie Bush got compared to Barry Sanders. Javid Best got compared to Barry Sanders. We need to stop it. We just got to. Galladay, what did they call Galladay? Something Tron. Did they call him Baby Tron? Just again, it doesn't work. Stop. Our gunners didn't get it done all the time the way we are used to reload the gunners. Sure. It's bodies. It's bodies on special teams. No, Chip Kelly's not coming here. Chip brings in Mariota as backup QB, LOL. I wouldn't hate Mariota as the backup QB. I'm not gonna lie to you. Only 50 know who did it. But my lawyer's so cold that Diddy gotta quit it. Shootouts, taking trips. Diddy did it. He's the OG Hall of Fame number 2. Didn't see him play. I can say I probably saw him play, but I don't remember it because I was like 2 or 3 years old. Bro, let me call in. I'm trying to argue with you because you keep Actually, I did say I'm gonna have people calling in the off season. Just remind me next time. It's very easy. I just put the link in the chat. You can keep your camera off. You can turn it on if you want to. No problem with me. But I'm about to go. So Billy is a legend. Gibbs has a bit to go, needs to stack years. Yeah, I mean, he's only been in the league 3, 4 years, so, I thought your favorite was on Johnson. Carry on, your wayward son. He is not my favorite, but he was decent. Injuries robbed him of his career. All right, y'all. I appreciate you for coming through, stopping by. I didn't have a drink today. I really need one because it is very hot. What do we have here? It's not even updating with the real actual stuff. Um, but yeah, so again, remember tomorrow, the new time will start. We will be starting at 8 p.m. instead of 7:15. It's a better shift for everybody, I think. So that's where we will be. That's when we will be. Thursday we will be here as well. So I'm gonna try not to take any more Thursdays off as much as I can help it. Um, but yeah, so 8 p.m. I'm gonna keep working on the app. Again, there's just a few little discrepancies with like rosters and things of this nature. I'm trying to make this thing crazy. Like this, y'all have never seen. I'm telling you, you've never seen a mock draft simulator like this before, and it's almost ready. So um definitely by the end of the playoffs, just so we can have the full draft order. But it should be ready by this weekend when I have more time to sit down. But yeah. All right. Once again, the Motor City Cats R&D back at it. We came to give you stats and not none of that static. Whatever you do, make sure you keep your lines news pragmatic. And yes, there are draft rooms where you can invite people in. So we will be able to have multiple people. Remember last year we wanted to do the full chat draft with everybody representing one of the 32 teams. We should be able to do that this season. So that is what that is. But keep it locked here as always. And we're out. Peace.